Hello there, my name is Austin Ladd. Today we shall be exploring the controversy around the Mark Twain classic, Huckleberry Finn. As you know, a lot of the times Huckleberry Finn has been seen as racy for obvious reasons. The N-word is repeatedly used, but at the same time it's educational on the state of how it was going during these days. I went out on the scene and asked people's opinion on different subjects, matters, and all that. Our first guest will be Coach Rogers from the English class, 11th grade. Thank you. Enjoy.
Ty Rogers.
All right, what do you think about Huckleberry Finn?
I think Huckleberry Finn is an important book, particularly in American literature. Mark Twain was way ahead of his time in racial relations. He was a noted abolitionist and felt that slavery during the 19th century was wrong, and that anything that took away from the humanity of a person was wrong. You see that in Huckleberry Finn and the development of his character and the development of his relationship with Jim. So I think it's something that really we can learn a lot of lessons from today. The point of the book is that not the things that divide us are important, but our humanity and our collective understanding as Americans is what is important. And I think if we follow that advice a little bit more today and focus a little less on the things that divide us, we would probably be a lot better off in our social fabric.
What do you think about the repeat?
And that was Coach Rogers. We thank him again for helping. Now then, look at that side of the issue. I guess we...
Originally, right here, I was going to have someone else do an interview, but I decided to go for a more international view and decided to get my stepfather, who is from Krefeld, Germany. And I'd like to thank him again for helping, and here it goes. What do you think about teachers, schools, or even parents trying to ban the book?
I think it's foolish. It's silly. First of all, the same applied to Galileo, because the church at one point deemed his teachings to be out of context and out of line with what the Roman Catholic Church thought. And look where Galileo is today and where the church is today. Galileo is still very famous, and the church has dwindling numbers of supporters. But that aside, it's you can't hide a cultural artifact, whether it's a painting or a theater play or a musical or a movie or a book, just because of the use of a word. It's on the contrary. I mean, you in many ways, people have to learn about that heritage and have to learn about the history and also the very bad circumstances you had at the time for African Americans. Right? That was something that that you should take to heart, and you should change it. You know, how can you improve on a situation like that if you don't know about it?
All right. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
I'd like to thank my stepfather again for that interesting introspective on the book. Now we move to Mr. Bogner, which of course is the theater teacher. So, I guess with that, we move to Mr. Bogner.
What do you think about the repeated use of the N-word in the book?
Well, that was kind of how it was written back in the time.
You're not, like, how do you compare it to today's use of the N-word?
Today it would be inappropriate to use that word. Back then it was more of the cultural norm. Not saying that that was right, but it's just they're representing the time period from back then.
That's interesting. Now for our second to last guest, we have Landrum Sensei, which of course is a Japanese teacher. So I say kudos to the Japanese teacher.
Did you have anything like this?
Not that I know of. Japanese English classes or like literature classes, they tend to study really, really sappy stuff about like dying puppies and pretty harmless and sappy stuff. I don't know that I ever heard about any controversy about bad language in Japanese literature.
All right, thank you for your time.
Thank you again to Landrum Sensei. Now we'll be moving to our last guest. This one was an interesting one by any standards. I wasn't expecting it when I first saw it, but as I kept on watching,
it grew on me. Now we move to one of our own students. Thank you.
Name's Dontavius Foster.
What do you think about Huckleberry Finn?
I think it's a very educational book. Some people would think that it's racist, but I guess it just goes to show us what the time period was like back then.
What do you think about the repeated use of the N-word?
Well, that's what they said, so you can't sugarcoat the truth.
Now that all the sides have been given, we must look at how the book itself is. It's a very, from my point of view, it's a very good book. I don't agree with everything in it, but I respect the place it is where we need it. A lot of controversy around the book has to do with the fact of the N-word. That is true, but we have to understand how it came from that point of time in the day. So, me personally, it's a good book to read. It's a matter of opinion on everything, but that's what I'm here for. Discuss the opinions, ask the people, the story must be heard. Thank you.